Just to tell you a little bit about what we're doing, we are on a tour, but it's not a traditional tour. We're actually touring the country, playing in people's houses. So this is kind of a continuation of that vibe, playing in a garden. It's a kind of non-traditional setting for live music. It's just really lovely playing for people in a setting that's kind of their own and that they feel really comfortable in, and it's kind of, there's no pressure to buy drinks or this or that. It's just kind of there about connecting with music and with people. So thank you so much for coming and being part of that. People in the hole, they don't understand the people outside of the hole. I grew up outside of Philadelphia and lived in DC for a little while. Then I moved out to Los Angeles. And I was here for a couple years, and then I actually met Sebastian. He became a fan of my work and got me a job doing background vocals in England. So I went over to England, did some singing on a record, and then we started recording an album together. Things started happening for me there. I got a manager and a publishing deal and stuff, so I just stuck around, hung out in England for a couple of years. Cool. And I just recently moved back to Portland.
I grew up in a kind of small town in a place called Norfolk. Norfolk is a beautiful rural place and has a reputation for, if you come from there, you're kind of a little bit inbred, a bit stupid, which I am. So I scrambled my way out of there and ended up in Los Angeles. I saw Catherine play, and I thought, just completely fell in love with what she did, and I made it my ambition while working on lots of less good stuff, maybe. So that one thing I really wanted to do was produce an album for Catherine Feeny, so I went about doing that, and kind of just got back into singing for myself. And the Challenge of Feral Green thing is just a little thing I can hide under and collaborate with other people. Yeah. So mostly it's always just like me collaborating with someone else. This song's called The Challenge of Feral Green Part 1. I was just sitting around with Andrew Taylor and we were kind of going, like, what do you want to be called? What should we be called? What should we call this thing we're doing? And we had all these words just flying around, and it was like, that sounds cool, that sounds cool. Everyone will wonder what that means. And then after like a kind of month or so, I was like, well, it's obvious what it means. Like, wanted to make something that was kind of completely unspoilt, and feral is like, reared in the wild, like completely untouched by society, and green is like nature's first green is gold. It's like, like a beautiful kind of fresh new thing. Mm-hmm. And the challenge of doing that is apparent, like otherwise more people would do it. It's painful and sad.
As a musician, I think it's pretty hard to stay in one place regardless. If you're touring and stuff like that, you're going to be on the road anyway. But Portland just seemed like a nice place to kind of base myself. When I was living in England, I shot a music video there, and they all, spoke Portland's praises. And going there, it was just such a cool vibe. Like, all the grass and people's lawns was like overgrown, and like people were like planting vegetables out to the curb, and it's just like a totally different vibe than anywhere I've been.
The living room tour thing just came about because I heard it could be done. I didn't believe it, so I started looking into it through MySpace and all that, and like people who had written to me, or just people who were like your music is really cool, instead of like, thanks for being my friend, or thanks for adding me, I'd be like, can I come and play in your living room? And some people take you up on it, and it's just like, they always say, all their friends and family say to them, like, you're having like strangers coming to your house and playing music, but like, we have to go to their fucking house, like in the middle of nowhere, and like, it's a trust thing, and it works out good for everybody. So Catherine has kind of brought something new to this, because she's got like a broader spread of people who are into her, like, because
Sebastian has like all the like crazy like drinkers and stuff, and I have like all the holy rollers, basically. So we got like an interesting mix.
Wow. She never mentions God, but somehow it inspires something in people who love God. So that's good. Wow. Yeah. So we go everywhere. Now this tour is like really varied, and we meet some fantastically individual people, and it's great. love is waiting for you. Your life is waiting for you. Just be sure you know.